I decided to take it out for a coffee. So this is the first time I've actually had it off the stands in about a year. Well, first time I've had it, yeah, on the streets. Since I did the V8 swap. The texture. So there's inside of the front wheel wells. Yeah, this is the rear wheel well. I'm not done with the whole car yet, but yeah, it looks a little bit better and it's all protected. So I think I figured out a couple issues that were happening with the 5.3 Firebird swap. I drained the oil and the oil looked pretty nasty, and it seemed to be a lot of heavies in the bottom, like stuff settled at the bottom. And then I remembered that I had put some SeaFoam in the oil, so I decided I'd flush it again for a second time. And since SeaFoam did such a good job of loosening up all the gunk the first time, I decided to use it again just in case there's any in the lifters or any blocked oil passages. So I just pulled the plug and I just drained out like maybe the first liter, the very bottom stuff. Got like wide open exhaust, but when it warms up it's almost quiet, or maybe it just seems that way compared to when you first fire it up. But when it warms up it's almost quiet. I can almost hear the injectors. Okay, this is worse than I thought. I pulled the cap off and I poured some of it out into a container so that way I could see better what's on the bottom. And wow, there's like some chunks in there and flakes. This container was crystal clear white when I drained my oil, so I'm pretty sure all that shit came out of the engine. Oh my goodness, that's not good. It's running nice and smooth, no ticks, no knocks. It's getting better, but wow, that's not good. It looks like it's red. Huh. Anyway, I just didn't want my container to be overflowing, so I drained some of it out, and this allows me to see what's in the bottom, and she does not look good. I'm just going to keep flushing it and just keep changing the oil. Okay, I'm going to pull the drain plug for the second time today after I drained out the bottom layer. I figured the heavy stuff would be at the bottom, and I noticed the SeaFoam really, the advertisement says it liquefies the carbon deposits, so basically the carbon deposits end up floating around in the oil. I don't know if you can see what comes out, but it's slowly getting better. Oh, it's not looking good. I don't know. There's definitely some crap coming out. This is not black like the first layer I drained out earlier. I figured all the heavy stuff would be settled on the bottom, so I'm kind of glad I did that before I warmed it up. Because when you start the engine, it sucks anything that's in the oil pan, it can suck it up into the pickup tube and oil pump. I don't know what that was, but we just had a big blob of something, or a big air bubble or something. Just came out. Oh my goodness. Oh, here comes some. Here comes some more yuckies at the bottom, or at the top. I don't know what that would be, but oil is like the lifeblood of your engine. It doesn't look too good. It's not looking good. It almost looks a little bit milky, like a head gasket would do. But I don't think it's actually, I don't think it's the head gasket or coolant. But you never know. I can't rule out anything right now. I'm just going to keep changing the oil until any of those chunks can get into the, they can get into the lifters or the small galleys, the fine galleys. The push rods have a fine hole that goes through the tube, and oil has to pass through that, so I don't want any of those chunks in, or any of the big carbon deposits that the SeaFoam might have taken out. I'm just gonna let it run and drip because I want it to drain out as much as possible, as clean as possible, and I want all this old stuff out as much as possible. So I'm just gonna let it run, and then we'll put some fresh stuff in it. Probably no additives this time. It's really hard for me to hold my flashlight and try to get a shot in there and try to get the focus to work and run the throttle, but I'm pretty happy after changing the oil and getting it up to temperature and flushing it. I can see oil shooting from the rockers, from the push rods now, so that makes me happy. And I think I figured out the misfire is the crank sensor relearn, and I fixed the exhaust leak. I just popped off, I've got flex pipes slipped on there and one of them just blew off, but that's no big deal. This is actually good news for once, I think. I've got oil up here now, it's running better, it sounds better, it's clean, fresh stuff. I didn't put any additives in it this time. Well, I got the headlights working on the Firebird, and changed the oil 3 times, and I decided to take it out for a coffee. So this is the first time I've actually had it off the stands in about a year. Well, first time I've had it, yeah, on the streets. Since I did the V8 swap, and it's obnoxiously loud. It seems like the kickdown cable, it seems like it could be a little bit tighter. The shifts are really soft. I had it in third gear, just not barely pushing the gas pedal at all, and it just dropped into third gear. So the shifting seems to be good. I haven't had it in fourth gear yet, but I didn't go very far either. So far so good, but there's some little things, like I think the kickdown cable needs to be a little bit tighter, and the alignment. I can tell the alignment's out, so nothing major, but so far so good. Cylinder number 1 and 6. Then it goes to 0. Cylinder 2. 7, 8. So I found out how to get misfire data finally. I did an update. You can update these things. So I updated it and got a little bit more connectivity and stuff. So I found misfire data. I've got a little bit. It mostly sits at 0 at idle, but under a load I get a couple of misfires under a load. Only a couple out of like 200. I think it resets under 200 or something. So since they're kind of sporadic and all over the place, like a random misfire is, I'm guessing either spark plugs or fuel. But the spark plugs were new, but they might be fouled from all this running with no O2 sensors, and I had a rich condition previously from an exhaust leak, so maybe they're fouled, I don't know. But I've also got a tiny bit of SeaFoam in the tank, and who knows how old or what kind of junk is in the old tank. So I might just run some fresh fuel through it before I make any decisions. And also the crank sensor has never been learned to this computer. This computer and this engine are from 2 different vehicles. So it could be a crank sensor relearn. Took the Firebird out for a rip, and I felt a little bit confident. I did a quick alignment, felt a little bit confident taking it a little bit further. This is the first time today driving it since the V8 swap, and yeah, she's a junk pile, but it blows my hair back.